Hey guys, my name is Nina, and today we're doing this. So I wanted to rewatch a bunch of old Canadian teen shows that I grew up watching, and I thought, why not make a series of it on my channel? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna name it ROCTS, and you'll see why in a second. There's a T in there, it's gonna be silent. I'm just gonna pronounce it as ROCTS. That way, I can have the title be, insert show name here, ROCTS. Aren't I clever? Let's get into Radio Free Roscoe.
Pigged out.
He still asked you out.
I'm gonna ask him that. What are you talking about?
Shut up about yourself.
Isn't that what love's all about?
I am so sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry?
I really don't remember anything about this show, so going into this, my mind was blank and I wasn't sure what to expect. I watched the whole first season, but going forward, I think I might only watch like the first 10 episodes of the shows because, let me tell you, it was a big feat to watch the whole season. I don't remember this show having like 4 seasons. Like when I was watching it when I was young, I probably only saw the last 2 because it aired like when I was 2 years old. And another thing that I don't remember about this show is that there are 9th graders when it starts. Let me tell you, they don't look 14 years old. Mind blown. So I quickly discovered that the premise of the show is basically Radio Rebel mixed with Lemonade Mouth. The principal even has an episode where he bans headphones. They want to have their voices heard and be anonymous, and the principal is not about it.
Why me, Kim? Why am I the only principal in the district with an underground radio monkey on his back?
4 friends, each bringing something to the table, started an underground radio show. So Robbie wanted to be a radio host at the school's radio station, but they kept censoring what he was allowed to say, and he did not like that. And then there's Travis, the new kid, that one day hijacks the radio station at the school and goes over like the PA system. And then Robbie and Travis decide, hey, why don't we start our own radio show? And then that's what they do. And then, of course, Ray brings the goofs and the laughs, and then Lily brings the music. And that's basically the premise of the show. Let's get into the characters.
It's grand salami time!
As the show went on, I really started to love Ray's character. He is actually so funny. Like, he actually makes me laugh out loud when I watch him, which is, like, really hard to do considering when you watch a show, you're normally just like, haha, that's funny.
Okay, I know what you guys are trying to do, but...
There is no try, only do.
He's a big goofball. He's a big goofball. Anyway, I just really like his character. He's probably my favorite character of the main cast.
Oh, here I was thinking it'd be something weird. Is this yours?
My retainer.
Guys, you and your fighting? It's tearing me up inside.
Plus, I discovered that he created the prequel to the spaghetti taco from iCarly. Only so much worse. He really has something against Travis at first. Like, what's up with his dislike of Hey Man?
You know what he said to me in homeroom? Hey, man. You don't say hey, man.
Especially since, like, in the second episode, he says this.
Hey, pretty lady.
And I'm like, how is that any better than Hey Man, dude? But the Hey Man trilogy in the first episode is basically the best part of that episode, so I can't hate on it.
Hey, man. Transmitter's ready to go.
Hey, man. Wait.
But seriously, Ray is a lovable character and it honestly made the show worth watching. I didn't really write too many notes on Lily's character. Her character was kind of meh to me. They really should have fleshed her out a bit. Like, I seriously think that Audrey has a more dynamic character than Lily does. All I wrote is that Lily has a little lisp and that she seems to have a catchphrase, which is like, that sucked out loud. Although Ray uses it once, which is not surprising because he's clearly madly in love with her, so why wouldn't he steal her lingo?
You suck out loud.
Oh, and she's a musician. Anyway, let's talk about Travis.
Hey. Hey, wait.
Travis is a new guy in school, so he's new to the group. And as I said before, Ray doesn't really like him. And when you get to the end of the season, it's very justified. Travis seems really mysterious at first, like he has something going on, like something secret. And it's very strange.
How early did you have to get here?
Who said I went home?
Like in episode 11, he's found sleeping in the studio, and I'm like, did something happen at his old school where he had to transfer? Like, what's his home life like? Something's weird about him. Something's going on there that we don't know about. None of that was really confirmed or denied, at least not in the first season. Also, in general, Travis is just sort of strange and creepy. The way he talks is just so level-toned and intimate that it just makes my skin crawl.
I've been smiling all day thinking about our conversation.
Me too.
When we talked, it felt like the whole world was lit up. Like there were two moons in the sky.
The way he acted in the miscommunication episode just reiterates that. Like, what kind of voice is that?
Sounds like someone's been reading too many fortune cookies, okay?
It's awful. And then how is nobody, like, suspicious of the K's? Like, no one talks like that. Anyway, it was cool that him and Audrey found some common interest and someone appreciated his strangeness, even though that didn't really work out in the end. Also, one quirky thing that I was really confused about was that his radio, like, nickname is Smog. And that comes about because Ray calls him a smart dog.
I wasn't touching anything, smart dog.
As in, like, smart Alec. And I'm like, smart dog? Like, I've never heard that saying before.
And I must say, this invisible microphone technology is fantastic.
Robbie is annoying. I gotta say it. He sucks. He's so annoying, I hate him. He's so one-track minded and big-headed, and he's just such a keener. He's like a teacher's pet.
Actually, what you guys could really use?
He does this Discovery Channel analogy in the first episode, like in Mean Girls, and it's just so pompous and it doesn't look good on him. Katie doing it in Mean Girls was, like, fine. But, like, I don't know, everything that comes out of his mouth is just like, can you stop talking? I don't like you. I don't know what it is about Robbie, he's just so dislikable. He's especially insufferable in episode 10 when he's so obsessed with being a winner. And then when he loses, he's just a huge sore loser. Like, he's so petty. Like, get over it, dude. One redeeming quality he has is this reaction face he makes here.
Maybe that's because I'm used to playing downstairs in my basement and the dryer's always going.
I just couldn't stop laughing, like literally laughing at his face there. Turns out I hate most of the main characters, but Ray's my guy. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some of the smaller characters that I probably like better than all of the main cast.
I just want to thank the voters in advance for making the informed choice on Election Day.
Speaking of Mean Girls, Kevin G is in this show by the name of Barney Oscarson.
What? I'm a sucker for that sexy voice. Think big, people! Think big, people, come on!
And honestly, he has the same energy as Kevin G. And I freaking love it.
Not spin, thrust.
A double rotation with intermittent thrusts is a physical impossibility.
Well,
okay, I just had to talk about Ed and Ted because they're like this trope that I started noticing ever since I've watched Soy Luna of like two really dumb, zany characters just getting up to some random shenanigans that are like the comic relief of the show.
We could, but we won't.
It's obvious you're not ready for our world. It was both a pleasure and a disappointment teaching you, Lillian.
Good luck with that app.
They're not as present as Tino and Kato from Soy Luna, but they're still great. They're hard not to love.
Forget your homework and live a little. Okay?
There she is, Paula Brancati. She's basically in all of the Canadian shows. Like, you could see her in Degrassi, you could see her in Being Erica, you could see her in every other Canadian show. Probably not, but, like, I've seen her a lot growing up. She was, like, one of the Canadian actors that you just know. Her character in Radio Free Roscoe is so different from all her other characters that I know her playing because in Radio Free Roscoe, she's just so happy-go-lucky and carefree.
Yeah, let the good times roll.
Yeah, life's a party whenever Veronica's around.
I'm glad Ray finally has a girlfriend, but does she have to be so...
Superly duperly fantastic.
Hey guys, what's the haps?
Got room for two groovies?
Whereas her other characters are more fiery and strong-willed. I'm mostly talking about Jane from Degrassi and Jenny from Being Erica.
Well, maybe the rules can wait, Mr. Waller, until after we've handed out the station assignments.
Of course, I couldn't skip over Kim Carlisle. I don't have much to say about her. She is who she is. A little snooty teacher's pet kind of girl. I did skip to the last episode of season 4, and she seems to have gotten more down to earth, which I'm happy about because she was very stuck up and tight. That sounds so weird. She was very stuck up. But the main reason Kim Carlisle first piqued my interest was because she's the editor of The Latest Buzz, which I honestly watched probably more of The Latest Buzz than I did of Radio Free Roscoe. So honestly, I couldn't see her being a high school student at all. Like, her being a high school student in Radio Free Roscoe is mind-blowing, and I can't see her that way because she's just like the mentor of The Latest Buzz, and I can't get over that. Good times.
I got a program for you when you're feeling down. It's sure to put a smile on that gloomy frown.
Okay, here's the thing. I kind of respect the principal. He admits that what they're doing is harmless, and all the choices he makes are to improve the school and to keep respect from the students. So you can't really blame him for that. Does it show my age when you start emphasizing with the principal of a teen show? Maybe a little bit. He honestly really cares about the school and the students, and there's a lot of teen show principals that only really care about sponsorships or money. So, like, he's honestly a pretty good principal.
You know, if the time comes and you have no one to turn to, my door is always open.
Danny, you made a difference.
I honestly feel so bad for him in episode 19 because he's so excited about the Happy People seminar, but no one cares about it. Like, he sets up this wall where you can write positive messages on it, and everybody thinks it's lame. And I think that's really unrealistic because back in my high school, I had a similar thing, and everybody wanted to write messages on it. They were happy about writing positive messages to each other. No one thought it was lame. So, he just was so sad in this episode. How could you not feel bad for him? They should have honestly respected him more. Alright, on to the best part of teen shows, the relationships.
You can't control when Love will pull a sneak attack on you. He speaks the truth.
What's great about this show is that the romantic drama starts in episode 3, whereas most other teen shows, like from the Disney Channel or whatever, don't get into romantic relationships until like the last season or something. So Canada's doing well with that.
If I'm your first call, then who are you gonna call first about this?
In the third episode, Lily decides to befriend Audrey because she wants to know what it's like to have a friend who's a girl. She's only ever had Robbie and Ray, Robbie Ray, as her friends, so she doesn't know what it's like to be friends with a girl. Anyway, Audrey introduces her to this guy that has a crush on her, and they start dating, which then makes Ray jealous because Ray clearly likes Lily.
Where were you yesterday? Why are you dressed like this? And what are you doing talking to Lee Johns?
And so Ray decides to embarrass her in front of this dude so that the dude doesn't want to date her anymore. In the end, though, Lily does get a second date with him.
Really got a date with Lee to get to, so...
What? He still asked you out, even after I...
Tried to sabotage things? Yeah. I just told him that you were secretly in love with me and you would do whatever it took for me to be yours, so...
But she realizes that he's really boring and she doesn't want to be with him, because duh. And then she hangs out with Ray like any old time because obviously they're meant to be together and they have a lot more chemistry, and like I'm just really so glad that they are going to be together, that they're supposed to be together, because from the first episode I shipped them. Cut to episode 10 where Ray is finally building up the courage to ask Lily out. Lily still oblivious of his feelings. Meanwhile, Lily is getting guitar lessons from this guy who she forms a crush on, and so every time Ray brings up his feelings or starts to tell her how he feels, she just brings it back to this guitar guy, crushing Ray's heart piece by piece. Also, I didn't realize the first time I watched this, but the guitar guy is like 20 years old, okay? And Lily is supposed to be 14. So, turns out he has a girlfriend and he wasn't actually trying to hit on a 14-year-old, so I'm glad about that. And then Lily says this.
One of these days, you'll turn around and your soulmate will be right there in front of you.
And he'll never be as cool as Jack.
And then my heart hurts for Ray. He keeps getting burned and burned over and over again by Lily.
One day you'll fall for someone and they won't even see you, okay? They won't even know you're alive.
This episode is great ship drama though, which I enjoy. Now finally in episode 16, Lily realizes she likes Ray back. Seemingly out of the blue. Like, seriously, it came out of nowhere. Like, I'm really happy that she likes him back, but it just is so frustrating because there were no hints to it at all. So anyway, they both like each other and neither of them know it. Ray had actually been trying to distance himself from Lily because she kept hurting his feelings without knowing it. So he starts dating this girl named Veronica, which makes Lily jealous. The typical will they, won't they relationship. But then once Ray realizes that Veronica is really annoying and that he shouldn't be with her, Lily decides to help him break up with her by being his side hoe. This leads them to actually kiss each other in front of Veronica, which I'm like, wow, they really did their first kiss dirty, didn't they? Not only that, but they ruined the whole thing in the last 2 episodes when Lily decides to kiss Travis. And just as they get over that, Ray walks in on them almost kissing again. And that's how the whole season ends! I so do not ship Lily and Travis. I didn't want to keep watching, so I just skipped to the last episode of season 4, and friggin', let me tell you guys, they're still not together. Lily and Ray are still not together. Can someone please tell me if they get together at all before like the last second of the whole series? Because they do end up together, thank God. But if they don't get together at some point somewhere else in the series, I'm glad I didn't keep watching.
Hey, Lily.
Hey, Audrey.
Wait a minute.
I thought I was the only one who was allowed to break into your locker.
The third episode also introduced the idea of Audrey and Travis, which I'm much more prone to liking than Lily and Travis. Audrey shows interest in Travis, but he completely blows her off because he's worried that she won't like him for him, being his nerd, sci-fi liking self. This only comes back up again in episode 17 when Travis finally gets the courage to talk to her, and he's still hiding his interests from her. When he finally gives in and admits that he didn't want to come off as a weirdo to her, they finally end up bonding over the weird, nerdy sci-fi things that it turns out they both like. Just goes to show you should always be yourself. They agree to look at the stars together at the same time in their separate locations, and then we get this beautiful delivery from Audrey.
Hey, it's 10 o'clock. Venus is at its brightest. Let's look. I hope Travis is looking too.
Also, Travis is in the studio again at midnight, so clearly there's something sketch going on with him. What 14-year-old is allowed out that late on his own? If he has a backstory that becomes more clear as the series goes on, please let me know in the comments because I am pretty curious. Anyway, I don't ship these two. Audrey deserves so much better than Travis. As I said, Travis ends up kissing Lily in the second to last episode and eventually ruining his relationship with Ray and Audrey.
But when we kissed, in that moment, it was as if that it wasn't real, okay? Travis wasn't your boyfriend. You weren't his girlfriend. I can't explain how, okay? I just forgot about you.
Then I'm gonna forget about you.
Essentially ruining RFR in the finale of the season. And he doesn't even really make anything better with Audrey at all. And Audrey deserves so much better. She deserves so much more. Audrey is bae.
Robbie, this plague of PDA we're experiencing, any theories?
Yeah, I think it's a Pavlovian reaction to the school bell. People hear it and they just lose control.
And then there's Kim and Robbie, an unlikely pair, yet too predictable. They start to get closer together in episode 14 when they're forced to work together at the record store, butting heads the whole time. But then they bond over liking the same childhood show, which is called Donnie and the Dragon. They still manage to fight over who is the better character, Donnie or the dragon. Honestly, that's probably how I'll meet my soulmate. And then Robbie says this.
Nice? What do you know about being nice? You're the meanest person I know. You're Kim Carlisle, the queen of mean. It's no wonder you relate to a fire-breathing dragon.
I think we all know who the actual queen of mean is, though, am I right? But damn, that's harsh, dude. By the end of the episode, they have a heart-to-heart and they kiss, cause that makes sense. And in another change of pace, they decide not to see each other at school or be with each other at school because they're 2 years apart. Robbie's in grade 9 and Kim is in grade 11, and so, whoa, that's crazy. I guess it is in high school, though. But honestly, I think these two do belong together, considering they're both bullheaded and teacher's pet types, and honestly, I'm here for it. Robbie really needs someone to make him less annoying. Through the rest of the season, they keep their distance, but in the last episode, Robbie decides to take everything into his own hands, and he kisses her in front of a bunch of bystanders, taking their relationship out of the shadows. This show isn't my cup of tea for this day and age, but it did have some funny little quirks about it that were great. There are more than a little awkward interactions and deliveries in the first few episodes, which kind of died down as the show went on, unless I just got used to it.
Hey, catch! I found it in the garbage.
Ew!
So, you like horses, huh?
Yes, I love them.
And then there were also the reoccurring jokes and phrases, like how they would always say, "It's go time."
Is it go time? It's go time.
Or how Ray would take two words, put them together, and say, "Best of both worlds."
I brought you some flickerish. That's flowers and licorice. Best of both worlds. Moo, Lily. That's me and you. Best of both worlds.
There was this one joke in episode 4 where the principal kept losing his radio to Kim Carlisle, and it honestly made me chuckle.
Please. Like I care what a few slacker kids think of me?
If I could have my radio back. Audio edgy, that's a good use of metaphor.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I need that back. My nieces.
What do you have against me owning a radio?
And Ray, in general, seriously made me laugh.
That's all right? Yeah, but I think my hand stinks.
This show had a lot of artsy cinematography that made it stand out from other teen shows of the time or even of today. Just gave it a little fancy spin.
Can hide that thorn in your side. Baby, there's something I gotta say. I've never felt this way.
As I was watching the series finale, when I jumped ahead to it, it left me with a lot of questions. Even though I had only watched one season, watching the series finale actually did still make me really sad about losing all the characters and having it end, even though I didn't watch it the whole way through. I was glad to know that Ed and Ted lasted the whole way through and that Robbie still had a thing for Kim, but I was upset that it seemed to be once again the end of RFR. It was like a reflection of the season 1 finale. The thing that made me the most happy, though, is that Ray and Lily were finally together and they ended their storyline with the game of Choose, which is like their thing. It was so cute. It was what they played in the 3rd episode when Lily decided that the guy that she was seeing was really boring. She ended up hanging with Ray instead. There's one thing I'm still really curious about, though. Did anyone ever find out their radio identities? If you know, can you tell me in the comments? Because I don't really want to watch the whole show. I just want to know if they were ever discovered. Anyways, guys, that's all I have to say about Radio Free Roscoe today. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I think the next few shows that are going to be in this series, like My Babysitter's Vampire, The Latest Buzz, or Life with Derek, I'll probably enjoy more. If you have any Canadian teen shows that you want me to talk about and watch and review, please let me know because I need them. During this time of COVID-19, please self-isolate, stay home, stay safe, and wash your hands.